I know that so many of you are wanting to expand what's possible for you in your healing business.
Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
Hello, everybody, to the Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. I'm so grateful to be with you. I'm looking forward today to dive in to talk to you about you're bigger than 100K per year. So, I know that so many of you are wanting to expand what's possible for you in your healing business. Maybe you haven't even started your healing business, but you continue to think about wanting to have the ability to thrive as a healer, as a spiritual entrepreneur, perhaps, whatever may be the case, that you feel perhaps trapped in the ways that you are now, and that the conditions that you've been experiencing keep you feeling like I'm not capable enough. I'm too introverted. I'm too sensitive. I'm too empathic. I'm just not ready to charge, fully for my services. It feels like it's too much to charge five or $10,000 for my services. Maybe it's something like this, or maybe it's something like I've got a life situation with my health, or maybe there's a life situation in my relationships, or where I live. No one understands what I do. Or you're in a corporate job and it pays well. And what if you were to go more fully into healing? Now everybody's going to discover who you are, what you do. The idea of actually posting online that you're an energy healer or you do spiritual work may be very intimidating. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. So, what do we do about all of that then? This sense of weight, the sense of just weight. Because when we're feeling the sense of heaviness, we have the sense of weight. One of the things that sometimes from the spiritual teachings is if it isn't light, then don't do it. Like there's those kind of ideas, right? And so if it doesn't feel light, then don't do it. The thing is, things that are uncomfortable will always feel a bit heavy at first. There might be excitement behind it. There might be good energy behind the heaviness, but there's a heaviness or a feeling I'm unworthy or I'm not capable. But the truth is, you're fully capable when you step into who you truly are, when you step into the gifts that you have, when you step into the huge energy that you are, everything becomes possible. And so that is why on this podcast today, I'm here to help you to have a breakthrough so that no condition, especially the idea of $100,000 per year, being like a big deal or something that's going to be really difficult or to add to your business, even if you're even looking to go beyond that, is a big deal. That it's not a big deal, that you have something inside you that will allow it to be relatively simple, relatively easy if you commit to the big energy that you are. So let's break it down just a bit further now. Now, we've talked about the sort of conditions you may be experiencing, the sense of maybe I'm not a good enough healer yet. Maybe I'm not proven enough as a spiritual teacher. Maybe I'm not ready to launch this business yet. Maybe it's not a fully fledged idea. Maybe I'm crazy to even think about doing it. Now that we've covered some of those type of ideas, there's so many thought forms that are there. What do we do about it? The truth is, if you're waiting to do something, you've been dreaming and intending and thinking about doing it, it's because the weight, the literal weight, the energetic weight of what it is that you want to accomplish seems more than you are. So you're waiting because the weight of what you're sensing it takes in order to see that energetic breakthrough, that physical manifestation through that energetic breakthrough seems like it's just too much. It's bigger in a sense than you are. It's a sense that I'm not big enough for that. I'm not big enough for it. Look at my relationships. I have to take care of my dog all day. I have to take care of my grandma all day. I have to take care of my mom all day. I have kids. I have this horrible situation with my partner. I have lawsuits. I have ill health. I have too much credit card debt. I have whatever the condition is. And maybe you have all of those things and more. So then the idea becomes that all these conditions are far greater than who I am at this time. That's the experience of it. But the truth is you are always far, far greater than any condition. You are far more vast and powerful than any condition that could happen upon your life. So, when we're thinking about things like thriving in your business, to let go of maybe some old revenue sources that are driving, 100K or more per year, if you have those already in place for many of you that are a bit of a higher achiever or a lot of a higher achiever, maybe you've been doing that. Maybe you've been making plenty of money in your career, but you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, but you're not trusting stepping into the new thing. Maybe you're making 100K or more per year in a different type of business, but it doesn't really align with your soul and heart. Are you going to continue to just wait because the weight of doing the next thing feels too much for you? So you're going to continue to not do it and say you'll be ready later. It's the I'll be ready later strategy, right? Someday, somehow I'll be ready. But the truth is, all you have to do is decide that you're going to have the breakthrough. And once you learn how to make that decision, you'll have the breakthrough. So, what are some of the answers, some of the solutions? What's the way to break free? What is the way to step into the things that seem too big to manifest, especially today for today's podcast? 100K or far greater. Knowing if you're not making 100K in a healing business, you'll be working other jobs, you'll be doing other things typically, or you'll have a partner that provides money, or there's other revenue sources. Otherwise, you just probably won't be able to even necessarily pay your bills. It depends on your life situation, if you have family, where you live in the world, etc. But many of you these days will find the business expenses stack up, and you may be only keeping half or less of the amount of money coming in some cases. So at 100,000, now we're down to 50,000. If you've been signing up for lots of big high-end programs because you got big dreams, now you're down to 30,000, now you're down to 20,000, 10,000, or zero or less. So what we need to do is, in order to step up, is start making decisions from a new space. And the new space is I'm bigger than any of these things. I'm bigger than the highest top mentor that could guide me. I'm bigger than any of these things I could invest in. I'm bigger than any of the problems I perceive I have in my life. And it's really that simple. The foundation of the breakthrough is that simple. And only until you realize you're bigger than all of that will you see the real breakthrough. Hoping, wishing, praying, even quietly, even steadfastly for new results in this regard when it comes to money, especially in your business as a healer or spiritual being wanting to thrive, whatever business it is. Typically, it's going to be basically almost impossible until you decide consciously or unconsciously in some kind of way that you're bigger than what it is that you're wanting to manifest. So you're bigger than 100,000. You're bigger than the 200,000 or the 500,000 or the million or the 8 figures or whatever it is. You're bigger than that. And you're only bigger than that in the experience of your results until only that happens when you actually step into that energy and you decide that you are that and then step into it. So we know we're one with all power. We know we're all one with infinite intelligence and infinite power. We've heard these things, right? So we're aware of such concepts. But are we acting like it? Are we acting like we are those things? Often we are not. Often we're just giving our power away to one condition after another. And we all take the banana peel every once in a while. Wow, this big thing is happening in my life. I don't know how to handle it. And then we take the banana peel again, realizing afterwards that something's amiss. There must be a solution. There must be an answer. For those of you high achieving, solution oriented people, you are always looking for the answers, but you still feel trapped because the weight of the condition seems like it's more than you are. So to rise above, you must realize you are bigger than any of it. So one of your affirmations can be just simple things you can do that absolutely can set you free. With this single podcast, it's possible, is to affirm, I am bigger than that. And you're like, I don't know. Can I do this healing business? Can I do this new endeavor? Can I manifest this huge vision? Can I, can it, is it really true for me? Is it really possible? And you get positive in your mind, but in your energy, you're small still. And that's if you're doing better than how some people are doing. So, how do we step into the bigness that we are? First, you have to decide you believe that. You believe that there's a transcendent energy that you are that's far bigger than the condition. And so, yes, I'm repetitive. You decide, I am bigger than that. I am bigger than that. Therefore, if I'm capable of making millions, for example, I easily can make 100,000 per year, or I easily can make $250,000 per year, or half a million, or even a million, or even much more. But it's only when you decide you're far bigger than that, you're meant for far bigger than that, but that you are ready to receive that now as you build the pathway to ever greater riches that are the riches you're tapping into that live within you. To tap into the infinite potential in the field within you where it all is already. That's where it's at. And it starts by realizing there's more possibilities, more opportunities. They are within you, but it's only by realizing you're more vast than any condition that you ever experience. It's only an experience of a reflection of where your consciousness is right now. Every single condition in your life has some reflection, has exactly to do with your consciousness, exactly where it's at. And there's no judgment. It just is what that is in that moment. And it all can shift on a dime, in a moment, in an instant, in the twinkling of an eye, as some of the songs say. Some of my old spiritual songs that I've listened to over the years have said, twinkling of an eye, it all can change just like that. And it's so true. So we stand in the vastness of who you are. Realize, wow, I'm capable of so much more because I'm this vast, infinite being. And so, what portion of the infinite am I willing to say yes to and continue to realize I am bigger than that condition? So, let's say going into 2026, for example, or whatever time frame you're in right now when you listen to this. Okay, I'm going to manifest this $250,000 business. And I realize that I'm affirming now that I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than that, but that's what I'm willing to receive in this particular calendar year, let's say, or whatever this specific is. I'm bigger than that. I'm willing to receive it. Okay. And then of course, from there, it's always coming from that energy, and then it's always following that energy into the specific intentions and actions that you need to land with and align with to allow it to happen. But coming first from that field. When you come from that field, it all becomes so much simpler, so much easier. Yes, you still need to be steadfast and harnessing the downloads, the direction, the knowing, the deep knowing and understanding of what it is that particularly needs to happen through you to the level that you're able to receive it in each moment. And as you continue to say yes and take the actions that keep stepping into it, your field expands, more and more becomes possible, more and more opportunities come to you. And that's where people go from nothing, from invisible to invincibly manifesting everything that they desire, increasingly so. And I've seen it time and time again. And I've seen it for my top students that have worked with me. When they employ this teaching, when they employ these truths. So, you're bigger than any of the conditions. Some people, for example, they go to a gym, for example, and they believe these weights have weights. These weights, I can only lift so much. I only have so much strength in my muscles. Certainly, I look around, I compare, even subconsciously, to those around me. This person looks smarter, stronger, more capable. Looks like they know what they're doing when it comes to working out. They must be vastly ahead of me physically because I just joined the gym 6 months ago and I haven't worked out a lot lately or something like that. Right? And so you believe that, and it is done unto you as you believe. And so you go to lift the weights, and the results tend to reflect your beliefs. Sometimes it transcends. Every once in a while, you're just open enough, and all of a sudden it happens anyway. So let's say I hand you, a specific weight to lift, and you look at it, and at first your mind says, "Yeah, there's no way I can lift that." And then you go to lift it, and of course, now because you believe you can't, over 90% of the time, 95, 99% of the time, you will not be able to lift that weight, no matter how much effort and training you put into it, because the belief is, I cannot lift this weight. It's bigger than I am. But now, if you approach that weight with the sense I am bigger than that really whatever it is I'm capable of is just a story I'm telling myself. And now you believe it's possible. Not only do you believe it's possible, you don't believe that that weight is bigger than you are. Now you go to lift the weight. Now there's a huge chance that you'll be able to lift that weight, especially if it's close to the range of where you would normally be able to lift. And that's how most people can progress rapidly by just taking those weights that in the past you didn't believe you could break through in your life. So the things that seem too big for you. No, I can. I'm capable. I'm doing that. I'm getting that done today because I'm committed to living from the vastness and the hugeness of who I am. And I want to transmit that to the world. I want to help uplift others to be as huge and powerful as they are. Of course, centered from the heart, of course, with a sense of lightness of spirit at the same time. It all can go together. It doesn't have to violate something else, It doesn't have to, although you can't hang on to your smallness and be the bigness that you are at the same time. You can't really have both coincide consistently, at least, right? So you get to decide how you want to play. If you look at life as a bit of a game, of course, it's much more than a game, but if there is levels at which you could perceive it simply as a game, what kind of game do you want to play? Do you want to keep playing it the way you've been playing it, or are you going to step into the hugeness and the vastness of who you are and finally break through? Hey, I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than my corporate job. I'm bigger than this little other business I've got going that's, putting food on the table. I'm bigger than that. I can transcend that. I don't have to stay in the condition because the condition is ruling and dictating my life. No, I can step beyond that and into something far vaster, far greater, a more abundant life, a more prosperous life, and just say yes to that. Finally, just say yes to it and just absolutely have that breakthrough. I'm going to manifest six figures or beyond in this next year, or in the next quarter, or in the next month. You get to decide. I am bigger than that. I am bigger than that. If you believe the condition is bigger than you, you'll be crushed every single time. Every single time. If you really believe that it's bigger than you really believe that, it'll crush you every single time. The circumstance will crush you in that moment, at least. Of course, you can rebound and re-strategize and get into the namaste, get into the field and feel okay about it. Maybe be even grateful for it. Maybe even come light and joyful again. But you're still with the same condition. It keeps kicking your butt, and you've had enough. You know why you've had enough? Because you realize you are bigger than that. That's why it doesn't feel right, no matter how much you try to make peace with this condition, whatever it may be, in this case, going to 100K or higher in your business. One of the quotes I just love to share, again, I don't know if this person even exists, but it was shared to me this way from one of my mentors. I love the quote, regardless if this person exists, because I tried to research them before. But Charles Loque, a philosopher, I believe he so was a French philosopher. But anyway, a philosopher who said, "What a terrifying marvel! As man deliberates, God awaits his decision. What a terrifying marvel! As man deliberates, God awaits his decision." Say one more time. What a terrifying marvel. As man deliberates, God awaits his decision. You literally have the power of all creation just sitting there waiting. Okay, tell us what your decision is. Then we'll go ahead and give it to you. But that's your only responsibility here. Everything will be given to you as soon as you decide. And it has to be real. It has to be something you believe, right? It can't be just mentally a quick thought like, oh, I'll have that, if the believability isn't high enough. I have no belief that's going to happen, but I decided, yeah, okay, I'll be a millionaire today. Okay, it's not going to happen. But if the believability is really, really high, and you realize you're far greater than the condition you're already in, then at least it becomes possible. If your believability was strong enough, you could do it in a day. It could happen in a day, whatever it is. Anything could happen in a day, in an instant. In an instant. But the believability or the openness, at least, therefore the believability is it's kind of all goes together. My openness was so great that I just really felt like it was totally possible, it was totally doable, it was already here, it's already available, and then it happened. So it may not be like a mental belief at times. It may come to you in a different way, but the openness or the believability was there. There was a believability. You did believe. He who has faith, all things are possible, all those type of quotes, right? I could come up with a long list of quotes from the Bible and other sources that point to this one universal truth. When you believe, it is done unto you. And so it just bears repeating. It bears repeating. So step into the bigness if you are. Decide what it is you're going to manifest. You're going to start getting paid clients. What is it? The clear thing that you want to manifest. When your mind says, I don't know, say, I'm bigger than that. I'm bigger than that. And feel it. Feel it. Say it aloud. Feel the truth in it. Keep repeating it even silently to yourself, but say it aloud as well. Maybe write it down. Write it down. Keep with it. Make it where you realize I'm bigger than any condition in my life. I'm bigger than any condition in my life. I'm bigger than any condition in my life. Okay. So that's what I want to share with you today. Of course, if you don't have the believability, then another aspect can be to do more in detail belief work, dismantling false beliefs, and all the ways that you know how to do that. There's many different resources. One of them I always mention is the One Belief at a Time worksheet by Byron Katie, because it's a nice process. It's a very powerful, straightforward process. Things like, is the belief true even? Can I absolutely know it's true? How do you react, when you buy into the thought? Who would you be without the thought? But honestly, today, more than anything, I want you to realize you're bigger than any of these conditions. And when the believability is that I am bigger than that, therefore it is already, it's light, it's easy, it's already mine. It's already mine. And I want to experience that field of abundance and empowerment and expansion by realizing I'm bigger than the condition I want to manifest. And I want to demonstrate that by experiencing the manifestation, not because I need the thing, but because, or the condition to exist, to be happy in life, but because it allows me to re-experience who I truly am again and again and again, and experience that increase again and again, the sense of increase of vibrancy, to have the felt experience. Yes, we're all vast and infinite, yet if we're not allowing ourselves to experience it again and again and have that experience increase, it's a sense of a very limited life, much poorer life, no matter how much at peace and aligned we are in other ways. Our life feels limited, and we feel so small compared to who we really are. Okay, so make the decision today, guys, together with me as I step into more of the hugeness that I am as well. I'm looking forward to hearing about your thoughts and your feelings about this, and any comments. If you have comment sections wherever you're listening in, go ahead, subscribe, like the video you resonate, if you're a yes to this. Go ahead and like this video, comment on it, etc. I'd just love to hear from you, and let's celebrate together. All right, I love all of you, and wishing and praying for your highest and greatest good right here and right now. You're bigger than any of these conditions and any of the headlines you're hearing about. Let's transcend, create, and step into the life that you want, the world that you're wanting to live in, and it's happening. And it's happening for you specifically, and it happens for others that are all choosing it together. And that's the world you want to live from. That's the place you want to step into, and let it be done. All right. Again, lots of love, lots of blessings, lots of prosperity. Like I always say, keep on tuning in, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till next time.
For listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.